Well, thank you, Madam Vice President. First of all, I want to thank a group of senators, Democrats and Republicans, for doing what they told me they would do. The death of this legislation was mildly premature, as reported. They said they're willing to work in a bipartisan manner, and I want to thank them for keeping their word. That's just what they did. After years and years of infrastructure week, we're on the cusp of an infrastructure decade that I truly believe will transform America. As you all know, just a short while ago, the United States Senate passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the very legislation I ran on when I announced my candidacy for the nomination for president. A historic investment in the nation's roads and highways, bridges and transit, and our drinking water systems and broadband, clean energy, environmental cleanup, and making infrastructure more resilient and the climate crisis much more in our minds and how do we deal with it. You know, we're poised once again, and I mean this in a literal sense, to make the same kind of historic investments that have so often made it possible for America to build the future and allow us to outcompete the rest of the world. From building the Erie Canal in the early 1800s, a bipartisan effort, the Transcontinental Railroad, to construction that was constructed during the Civil War, to Dwight Eisenhower's interstate highway system in 1950s, the investment that literally connected our entire nation and fundamentally changed the pattern of life in America, to the public investments that took us to the moon and the discovery of life-saving medicines and vaccines and gave us the internet. America's often had the greatest prosperity and made the most progress when we invest in America itself. And that's what this infrastructure bill does. With overwhelming support from the United States Senate, 69 votes in the Senate, a vote margin bigger than when the interstate highway system passed in the Senate in 1956. It makes key investments that will, one, create millions of good union jobs all across the country, in cities, small towns, rural and tribal communities. America, this is how we truly build back better. This bill is going to put people to work, modernizing our roads and our highways and our bridges so commuters and truckers don't lose time in traffic, saving billions of dollars nationally. Today, up to 10 million homes in America and more than 400,000 schools and child care centers have pipes with lead in them, including for drinking water. This is a clear and present danger to the health of America, particularly to our children's health. This bill is going to put plumbers and pipe fitters to work, replacing all the nation's lead pipes so every child, every American, can turn on a faucet at home or in school and know they're drinking clean water. During remote learning during the pandemic last year, we saw too many families forced to literally sit in their vehicles in a fast food parking lot so their children could get on the internet they couldn't afford and didn't have access to at home. This bill will deliver affordable high-speed internet to every American, a necessity for the 21st century. We'll also see we've seen in the last couple of years, the damage done in Texas and other places when transmission lines carrying power were taken down by extreme and unanticipated weather, leaving millions of folks without electricity for weeks and weeks, costing our economy billions and billions of dollars. This bill provides upgrades to our power grid so that more secure and resilient and cleaner energy can be transferred across those wires. Down in New Orleans, I met with the incredible women and men who are in charge of the water system, some of it running on technology that is literally 100 years old. This bill is going to provide opportunities to upgrade their system. It also allows American workers to strengthen our natural infrastructure, like our levees These are at risk of catastrophic collapse in the face of extreme weather like superstorms, wildfires, droughts, hurricanes, and heat waves. Last week, I stood, and many of you were with me, on the south lawn of the White House with the United Auto Workers and with leaders from the big three automobile companies in America, surrounded by iconic American vehicles that will all be electric and made right here in America in not too distant future. This bill is also going to put IBW workers, electrical workers, to work installing a truly national network of electric vehicle charging stations that will transform the way we travel and move commerce. And by the way, around those charging stations, you'll see, just like around we put in gas stations on our state highways, you'll see other industries build up. We have the benefit of significantly reducing pollution from vehicles on our roads. Look, this bill, I believe, will make the most important investment in public transit in American history. When I went to Philadelphia not too long ago for Amtrak's 50th anniversary, I was proud to be able to say that this bill was in the works and that it would be the most important investment in rail since the creation of Amtrak itself. This bill will upgrade railroad tracks so people can get to work and their destinations faster, and will build new lines to get people to more places faster, reducing, I might add, pollution as well. And here's another critical part of the bill. 90% of the jobs created don't require a college degree. You're tired of hearing me say it, I know, but this is a blue-collar blueprint to rebuild America. We're going to do all of this by keeping my commitment. We will not raise taxes by 1 cent on people making less than $400,000 a year. Everyone from union to business leaders to economists, left, right, and center, believe the public investment contained in this bill will generate more jobs, higher productivity, higher growth for our economy over the long term. Forecasters on Wall Street project that over the next 10 years, our economy will expand by trillions of dollars, and it will create an additional 2 million jobs a year beyond what was already projected. Good paying jobs all around the country. Experts believe that the majority of the bill's benefits will flow to working families. Faster commutes, cleaner water, less expense, available and affordable internet. These are the things that working families need. As last week's job report shows, our economy is recovering at a record rate. 934,000 new jobs created in July. It's going to go up and down, but 4 million jobs created since I took office. This bill is going to help make a historic recovery a long-term boom. Folks, above all, this historic investment in infrastructure is what I believe you, the American people, want, what you've been asking for a long, long time. This bill shows that we can work together. I know a lot of people, some sitting in the audience here, didn't think this could happen. This bill is declared dead more often than anyway. That bipartisanship was a thing of the past. From the time I announced my candidacy, about bringing the country together and doing things in a bipartisan way, it was characterized as a relic of an earlier age. As you may well remember, I never believed that, and I still don't. So I want to thank those senators who worked so hard to bring this agreement together. I know it wasn't easy. For the Republicans who supported this bill, you showed a lot of courage. And I want to personally thank you for that. And I've called most of you on the phone to do just that. You have, and no doubt you will, disagree with me on many issues. But where we can agree, we should. And here on this bill, we prove that we can still come together to do big things, important things for the American people. For the Democrats who supported this bill, we can be proud of this unprecedented investments that are going to transform the nation and change millions of lives for the better. Think about what's going to happen in a practical sense. Clogged arteries, at the heart of our economy. They're going to be opened up. That will reduce transportation costs, reduce commuting costs, and as a result, reduce cost overall for families and businesses. And there's safety provisions being, as I said not long ago, everyone can tell you what the most dangerous intersections in their communities are. There's money in there to deal with those specific needs. Thousands of bridges will be safer and more accessible. And by the way, as you've heard me say before, some bridges are so weak that they couldn't have a fire truck go across it, requiring the fire department to go 10, 12 miles out of the way to get just literally a mile away to put out a fire. Millions of lead pipes carrying drinking water to our homes and schools and daycare centers. They're finally going to be replaced. Never again can we allow what happened in Flint, Michigan, and Jackson, Mississippi. Can never let it happen again. High-speed internet, going to be available and affordable everywhere to everyone. So farmers nationwide can get the best prices for their products at home and abroad by knowing when to sell. And children in Chicago or Philadelphia never have to again sit in the McDonald's parking lot to do their homework. This is transformational. I know compromise is hard for both sides, but it's important, it's necessary for democracy to be able to function. So I want to thank everyone on both sides of the aisle for supporting this bill. Today, we proved that democracy can still work. A lot more work to do. But I want to thank Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell for supporting this bill. And I want to give special thanks to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Your leadership, Chuck, in the Senate was masterful. But look, let's be clear. Work is far from done. The bill now has to go to the House of Representatives, where I look forward to winning its approval. We have to get to work on the next critical piece of my agenda, my Build Back Better plan, making housing more affordable. It's so unaffordable to so many Americans. Providing clean energy tax cuts, including homeowners to make energy efficient improvements in their homes. Bringing down the cost of prescription drugs, making elder care more affordable, and continue to give middle-class families and children a tax break, a tax cut, the one they're receiving now, well-deserved child care and health care that gives them just a little bit of breathing room. This is a plan that invests in the American people, in their future and their success. And it will be paid for by having the largest corporations, including 55 of them, who didn't pay a single penny in federal income tax, and the super wealthy to begin to pay their fair share. I want you to be able to be millionaires and corporations do incredibly well. But this isn't going to change anything for you. You'll still have your 3 homes, you'll still have whatever you need, and corporations will continue to do well. I have more to say about this later as the Senate continues to work. But today, I'm happy to mark this significant milestone on the road toward making what we all know are long overdue, much needed investments in basic, hard infrastructure of this nation. I truly believe that this bill proves the voice of the people will be heard, and we can all come together to make a difference in people's lives. As you heard me say it before, and I apologize for repeating it, but there are no Republican bridges or Democratic roads. This is a moment that lives beyond the headlines, beyond partisan sound bites, beyond the culture of instant outrage, disinformation, and conflict as entertainment. This is about us doing the real hard work of governing. This is about democracy delivering for the people. This is about winning the future. It's about doing our job. This is about building an economy from the bottom up and the middle out, giving everyone a decent chance at a decent life. And by the way, when the bottom and middle do well, the wealthy do very, very well. Nobody gets hurt. This is what I call governing and government doing its job, ensuring everybody's better off. As I've said many times, and I'll say it again today, we are the United States of America. And there's nothing we can't do if we do it together. So thank you. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.